Let's talk about desire versus desperation, because desire draws us closer to what we want, whereas desperation pushes away what we want. So when we desire something, and I'm specifically referring to after we've identified the soul-based version of whatever it is that we want, when we desire something, we are in a state of bitachon. We trust that we can have what we want. We trust that Hashem will help us and He'll show us the way, and that we just need to go on a journey to get to where we want so that we can become a vessel that is capable of receiving what we want. Now, that journey can be quite painful, but even within the pain, we can still feel expansive and hopeful and trusting and inspired. Desperation, on the other hand, is the opposite of bitachon. Here, we do not trust that we'll be okay. We don't trust Hashem that we are where we need to be right now, and we feel constricted, and we're really resisting our current reality, which can be totally understandable. But the only problem is that that desperation and that resistance can actually push away the very thing that we want. So the question becomes, how do we lessen our desperation so that all that's left, or I would say more of what's left or most of what's left, because we never need to be perfect, right? We always leave room for our humanness. But how do we lessen our desperation so that more or most of what's left is a pure desire? So one way to do this is to sit down, literally with a pen and paper, because writing our ideas really concretizes them so much more than when they're just like a jumble in our minds. And it's just really powerful to be able to write down and read back our thoughts. So we write down all the benefits that we could think of being where we are right now. All the benefits of being in a waiting period. All the benefits of the struggle. All the benefits of not having our desires manifested yet. All the benefits of being in a place of limbo or even breakdown. Because a truthful perception of reality, which is God's reality, is that there's always a balance in life, which means that there's always benefits and drawbacks to everything. And oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes, one of the reasons for our desperation is because we're not in touch with the benefits of the current moment. And sometimes all we need is some quiet, introspective time with ourselves to be able to identify what those benefits may be. Now, just because there's benefits doesn't mean we're supposed to like it, and it certainly doesn't mean we're supposed to want it. Our desires, which remember, our desires are an expansive and inspired state, they are our preferred experience. Right? Our desires are what we prefer to experience in life, and our desires actually draw us closer to that preferred experience. So this isn't about suppression and gaslighting ourselves. This is simply about coming into a more balanced emotional state so that even though we don't like what we're experiencing and we don't want it, we can still tap into some gratitude and certainly a sense of purpose for what we're experiencing. And by stepping into this balanced and more truthful perception of reality, the greatest gift that we get from that is the gift of clarity. And one of the clarities that we get is the clarity on what we need to change or work on specifically, what specifically we need to work on and change within ourselves so that we no longer need this challenge and it could naturally start to dissipate.